Okay, so magandang oras sa ating lahat. At once again, this is Darlito Bernard Dirizo lecturing on the types of patriotism. And you are welcome also to subscribe and press the notification button so that if ever may mga bagong topics on nationalism, patriotism, as well as in criminology and criminal justice education, you will be notified immediately. Now we have these types of patriotism according to the New World Encyclopedia. You have the personal and official patriotism. So kailan natin sinasabi na ito'y personal patriotism? Well, practically, it involves our emotion or our feeling, okay, uh, and our voluntariness in helping our country. So it says here that a personal patriotism involves emotional and voluntary, in which a patriot adheres to certain patriotic values such as respect for the flag or the honoring of veterans. Not only that, okay, in personal patriotism, you are desiring to be enlisted in the military or any work in the government because you love your country. So that is the idea of personal. It's a personal feeling. Yung motivation mo personal, no? Nais mo talagang mag-serve sa country mo in any capacity na kaya mong mag-serve sa iyong bansa. What about official patriotism? Well, it says here that official patriotism has a high symbolic and ceremonial content. It derives legitimacy from being the expression of the common good of the political community. So what does it mean by that? Well, basically, say for example, a while ago, you wanted to join the military or the police or the law enforcement agencies of the government because it is your personal desire to be a public servant or to be a help to your country. On the other hand, in official patriotism, you are joining. Okay, you are joining whatever endeavor or activity of the government, but for purposes of following what is mandated by law. Say for example, sumasali ka sa mga flag ceremony, kung paano hawakan yung flag, no? Kung paano itaas yung flag, kung paano i-fold yung flag, okay? So, yung programa na ginagawa doon, so you wanted to be very particular in following those details of the ceremony or the program as an expression sa yung pagmamahal sa yung bansa. In that case, ang tawag natin dyan ay official patriotism. According to Stowe, he also typified patriotism. He called it the blind and the constructive patriotism. So blind patriotism is an opportunity or an attachment to a country that is characterized by unquestioning acceptance of its policies and practices and unquestioning allegiance with the pledge of supporting one's country, right or wrong. So what are the examples of this? Say for example, our country will be involved to invade another country, okay? And we know for sure that that is wrong, but since we are blind, okay, on that particular matter, we still support, no, the country. Kahit alam nating mali, sinusuportahan pa rin natin. A good example of that is what is happening right now between Ukraine and Russia. So some people see that the action of Russia is wrong. So if that is the case and you're still supporting the action of Russia to expand its territory in Ukraine, then you are considered to be a blind patriot. Constructive patriotism, from the name itself, okay, it combines the attachment, okay, of your love of the country with the capacity and willingness to question, criticize, and work for change. In other words, you are very loyal sa ating bansa. However, you are not hesitating to question. Kung nakita mo na may maling polisiya, may maling ginagawa ang government, ang ating bansa, okay, you would like to criticize because something like you wanted that the government will change or the government will act on it kasi nakakasira na sa bansa natin yung kanilang ginagawa. Say for example, no, nagkaroon ng mandatory na ROTC, so gusto mo sumali sa ROTC. Okay? Dahil gusto mo pagsilbihan ng bansa. However, along the process, napansin mo na mali yung implementation ng ROTC. So, since you are a constructive patriot, you are willing to question the policies in the ROTC na hindi na to nakakasiya, hindi na to nakakatulong, so kailangan baguhin para magiging constructive or makakatulong ito sa ating bansa. So yan ang tinatawag na constructive patriotism. Now, we have the patriotism according to Primo Ratz. He typify patriotism as value-based and egocentric. His first type of patriotism, which is value-based, is referring to a patriot's love for his country due to his country having certain privileges and great achievements. Okay? So that is the value-based. The value-based patriot's loyalty is dependent on what privilege and opportunities they get from their country. So, of course, say for example, there is now an issue. Dati-rati, kukunti ang nag-apply sa Tri-Bureau. Dati-rati, kukunti nag-apply sa law enforcement dito sa Pilipinas. In all of a sudden, biglang dumami ang gustong maging public servant. All of a sudden, dumami ang gustong maging police, maging bumbero, maging, tawag natin, maging member ng jail and correctional corrections and other law enforcement agents in the country. Well, if their motivation is they wanted personally to serve the country, then that is personal patriotism. But if their purpose of joining the law enforcement as well as enlisting in the military, enlisting in the Coast Guard, in other law enforcement agents in the country, is because of the salary and because of the benefit, then their patriotism is considered to be a value-based patriotism. What about egocentric patriotism? Egocentric patriotism, on the other hand, is seen as better compared to the value-based patriotism because of the principle which leads to a patriot's love for his country, okay, not because of the importance of the privileges or the merit or certain achievements obtained by his country, but rather, okay, he wanted to serve his country because it is his country. Pagsisilbihan ko to kasi bansa ko to eh. Okay? Bakit mo ako kukwestiyonan? I wanted to serve my country. This is my country. So, practical, that's egocentric, no? Pinagmamalaki mo yung bansa mo. Kaya gusto mo siyang pagsilbihan. Ang tawag ni Primo Ratz yan ay egocentric patriotism. Okay. Wrights in 2016 came up with the two types of American patriotism, the inclusive and the exclusive patriotism. What does it mean by inclusive patriotism? Well, it prides itself on giving hope and refuge to those around the world who are most desperate. This means that the American inclusive patriots espouses liberty and tolerance and welcome other foreign nationals who needed help to reside in their country. So, pag sinabi mong inclusivist, inclusive, included lahat, you are welcome. Okay? You are welcome. Religion, race, you are welcome. So, you love your country, but you wanted also to help others. Okay? To be part of your country. So, sinasabi mo na ang bansa mo ay pwede rin welcome natin ibang mga tao rito. No? So, yun ang idea ng inclusivist patriotism. Kaya pag sinabing inclusivist yung gobyerno mo, wini-welcome mo lahat ng mga practices, wini-welcome mo lahat ng mga religion, wini-welcome mo lahat ang mga tawag natin, mga iba't ibang mga practices ng ibang mga nation. But of course, you still love your country. So that is inclusive patriotism. Exclusivist patriotism, on the other hand, is a unique and superior American patriotism, okay, or Americanism, that is in America. That determines to exclude others beyond their borders. Meaning, walang pwedeng sumama rito. Kami lang, Americans, no? Kayong mga colored, kayong mga ibang races, hindi kayo pwede rito. America is for America. So that exclusive patriotism, no? So for example, when you say that your government is an exclusivist, just like in Afghanistan today, the Taliban government, they are exclusivists. No? They do not welcome other religion. So, dapat ang religion, Muslim lang. All other practices are not welcome. Okay? All other concepts and principles, no? Social practices are not welcome in their country. So, yung tawag doon, exclusivist ang tawag doon. So, hindi lang yan para sa Amerika, pwede rin. If you're a Filipino, at ang gusto mo, dapat Filipino lang ang masunod sa Pilipinas, wala nang iba, okay? Hindi pwedeng i-insert dito ng anumang mga iba't ibang mga prinsipyo ng buhay or practices, then you are an exclusive patriot na tinatawag natin. Now, we have Alden Kiss, type of patriotism. There are three types according to him: the impartial, the sports, and the loyalty. The word impartial, ano ba ibig sabihin ng impartial? Pag sabing impartial, wala kang kinikilingan. Okay? Wala kang pinapaboran, that is impartial. Therefore, impartial patriots, they appeal to only to universal principles, and it arises from the demands of wider loyalties. What does it mean by that? Patriots can be impartial in respect of justice with regard to all humanity. In other words, okay, as long as the concept is universally accepted, okay, as long as the principle is universally accepted, okay, they are going to go with it, no? In other words, they are not going to favor anyone in their country. However, okay, they will become, of course, again, be considering the universal principles, no? Yung tinatawag nating pangkalahatan, no? Pangkalahatan na prinsipyo. So, for example, observance of human rights, di ba? Okay, the right to practice religion, those are the right to human rights, those are universal principles, no? Na kailangan they have to consider that also, or in other words, they are not going to go against that, no? So that's the idea of the impartial patriotism by Alden Kiss. So what about sports patriotism? From the name itself, sports patriotism, appealing only, of course, when you say sports patriotism, okay, this arises, no, when people will be vouching for a particular team. And this patriotism arises from pressure to universalized patriotic judgment. What does it mean by that? Ganito yan. Assuming, pag ikaw ay Filipino, at all costs, you are going to support the basketball team. No? You are going to support the team of the Philippines. Manalo matalo, kailangan yan ay susuportahan mo. No? Okay? So, in other words, kapag may mga iba, mga bashers, for example, nung natatalo ang Gilas, binabas nila yung Gilas. No? In other words, tawag natin, yung mga tao na yun, hindi talaga totoong mga patriot. Ang totoong mga patriot ay yung natawag nating sumusuporta doon sa kanilang mga athletic teams or may sports team sila sa larangan ng competition, na kahit matalo or manalo ay sinusuportahan pala, mga die-hard fans pa rin sila. Otherwise, kapag hindi mo sinusuportahan yung team mo, it could be a serve to judge whether you are really patriotic or not. Unfortunately, in the Philippines, kapag natatalo yung mga Filipino sa abroad, dumarami yung mga bashers. So, nagiging supportive lang sila kapag nananalo. Well, that's basically their patriotism is in question. Okay, so what about the loyalty patriotism? Well, the loyalty patriotism is considered the real patriotism, which is similar to loyalty to one's family. Nation is a moral community whose members are bound together by a common good that is not instrumental. In other words, when we say loyalty patriotism, at all costs you are loyal to your country. You are going to do everything for the country. However, no, insofar as we call it togetherness is concerned, okay, this loyal patriot believe that the Filipinos, okay, as well as the people in the Philippines are considered as a moral community, and they have to help one another. In other words, kapag ikaw ay loyal patriot, okay, tumutulong ka sa iyong bansa, okay, ikaw ay nagsaserve sa iyong bansa at sa ibang mga tao sa Pilipinas kasi alam mo na ito yung para sa lahat, ito yung mabuti para sa lahat. Kaya tinatawag ito na totoong patriotism. Now moving on, we have other types of patriotism. You have the constitutional, the robust, the deflated, the moderate, the ethical, the extreme, and you have also the negative patriotism, under which is, of course, under which are the following: the jingoism, chauvinism, pseudo-patriotism, and ethnocentrism. So what is constitutional patriotism? Well, it reaffirms political principles of democratic procedures, or it focuses on an inclusive model of belonging, and instead of territoriality defined state, it invests in moral energies into public sphere. Now, isa-isa natin. So, pag sabing constitutional patriotism, since our country is a democratic country, our constitution is based on the will of the people, okay, or the will of the majority. Therefore, in constitutional patriotism is that you are going to support, okay, whatever mandate of the constitution, okay, to serve the country. So whatever na nakalagay sa constitution, kailangan susuportahan mo yan. Okay? Kung mayroong mga batas tayo na nagmamandate galing sa ating constitution or aligned sa constitution natin, kailangan suportahan natin. Vice versa, kapag hindi naman to aligned, kailangan natin huwag suportahan. So again, it focuses on an inclusive model of belonging. Ano ba inclusive model? Okay, tulad ng nabanggit ko kasi na pag sinabi mong inclusive, yan ay sinusuportahan lahat. Okay? Yan ay sinusuportahan lahat yung mga rights, okay, ng mga bawat tao. Okay, so for example sa Pilipinas, may mga right to religion, right to education, and everything, no? So dapat yan ay inclusivist ka kasi kung yun ay nandun sa constitutional uh, uh, provisions natin. So instead on territorially defined state, it invests in its moral energies into public sphere. In other words, okay, kung ano yung rule ng majority, yun ang tinatawag natin sinusuportahan. And it's also a form of political loyalty combining a commitment to universal principles with love of object of loyalty and a special connection to constitutions. Okay? So same thing, ano? Kung ano yung mga international principles on human rights and everything, okay? Ina-apply natin yan kasi yan ang pinaka characteristic ng democratic country. Okay? At the same time, it should always be connected with the constitution. So, kung merong mga natawag natin, mga pinapractice na rights sa Pilipinas na inakala natin hindi siya nag-affirm sa universal principles, at the same time hindi siya aligned sa constitution natin, pwede nating kontrahin. No? Kasi sa'yo, kung ano lamang yung mga sinasaad ng constitution, okay, sinasaad ng rule of majority, yun lamang ang susuportahan mo. So, for example, yung ongoing People's Initiative, kapag yan ay nanalo, dahil yan ang sinuporta ng majority, wala kang magawa kundi sumuporta. No? Yan. Otherwise, hindi ka nagiging constitutional patriot. What about robust patriotism? In robust patriotism, it believes that the loyalty should be to one's country and people, but this does not mean that they will support any government in her country. Okay, so loyalty should be to one's country and people. Okay, so you are going to be loyal to your country. However, we are open to supporting another government in our country. Say for example, in the Philippines, okay, insofar as we fight for the country, but we also welcome other countries like America. Okay, so that's the idea of robust patriotism. Okay, what about deflated patriotism? No? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng deflated? No? As against inflated. Pag sabing inflated, ampaw, no? Hangin ang laman, di ba? Ampaw. Kaya pag sinabi lang yung ating pera ay walang value kasi mayroong inflation, ibig sabihin ampaw yung pera natin, di ba? So pag sabi deflated, hindi siya ampaw. Ibig sabihin yan, yung patriotism mo ay may laman yung patriotism mo. Okay? And it arose from your debt of gratitude to your country. So, gusto ko na suportan ng country kasi this is my country and I owe my life, I owe my liberty, I owe my language, I owe my identity. So, I should love and I should work for my country. Kasi dahil sa bansang ito, yumaman ako, di ba? Dahil sa bansang ito, naging ganito ako, dahil sa bansang ito, nabuhay ako, din ang tawag natin yan ay deflated patriotism. May laman yung patriotism mo. Ang laman nun ay pasasalamat ang laman ng puso mo, kaya ka nagsaserve sa iyong bansa. Okay, so what about moderate patriotism? Moderate patriotism, okay, combines a special concern for one's country with some level of concern for people in other countries. Diba? So tulad ng Pilipinas, okay, we are very much concerned sa ating pagiging Filipino at sa ating bansa. Now, kung mayroong isang bansa na nagkakaroon ng problema, kalamidad man or gera man yan, the Philippines is basically on the moderate patriotism because our country is willing to help other people. Kaya nga tayo nagpapadala ng mga tropa ng ating Tri-Bureau at tropa ng ating Armed Forces of the Philippines sa ibang bansa kapag nangangailangan ng tulong doon. So we go there, or the Filipinos go there, because they are also concerned with other people in other countries. So ang tawag natin dyan ay moderate patriotism. Okay? However, it also promotes the country's well-being, but it only approves of means that are consistent with the rights of people in other countries. In other words, while promoting our own country, our country's well-being, okay, and we also would like to help in other countries provided na yung pinaglalaban ng bansa na yan ay consistent din sa atin. Hindi tayo tutulong ng bansa na contradictory sa ating mga rights and principles. So tumutulong din tayo sa mga bansa. For example, we are a democratic country. Ngayon, merong isang bansa na galing siya sa dictatorship at ngayon yung mga tao doon nag-aklas at nagkaroon ng kaguluhan. Okay, and eventually gusto nila ng democratic country. So we go there, okay, or Filipinos will go there, or the country will send Filipinos there to help, okay, because what the people are fighting in that area, okay, or what the people are fighting for in their country, in that area, is consistent with our democratic principle. So hindi naman tayo basta-basta tumutulong na ibang bansa kapag hindi siya align sa ating principle sa ating bansa. In that case, class, ang tawag sa atin ay moderate patriots ang tawag. So ano naman ang ethical patriotism? Okay, ethical patriotism, according to Primoratz et al., as cited by Hernandez in 2015, this type of patriotism focuses on the country's moral record and the implementation of just and human laws. And that patriotism is a moral duty. In the country today, we are divided into the ICC, or we are divided on the drug war of the former president. Some of us approve it, no? Some of us do not approve it. Okay? So for those who do not approve the alleged extrajudicial abuses and extrajudicial killings, okay, ang tawag sa iyo ay ethical patriot kasi gusto mo lahat ay naayon sa batas, lahat ay right ang gusto mo mangyari. So ayaw mo ng mga extrajudicial abuses or extrajudicial killing, or ayaw mo yung pag-a-apply ng government natin ng the ends justify the means. Gusto mo lagi ay proper means to attain proper ends. In that case, you are an ethical patriot. Okay, so what about extreme patriotism? According to Nathanson in 2020, he described extreme patriotism as having much concern for one's own country and no concern for others. So very extreme. Say for example, if you are a Filipino, wala kang ibang gustong payagan dito, gusto mo palayasin lahat yung mga ibang nationalities sa Pilipinas. So you are extreme. Okay? Yan. Just like in America, no? May mga ganong Americans. They wanted that America is for Americans only. At the same time, this type of patriotism sets the highest importance on promoting the country's interests. So, Filipino lang, wala nang iba. No? Pag sa Pilipinas, Filipino lang, walang iba. Tayo lang. Tayo lang hari dito. Okay? And, of course, it also explained that in this type of patriotism, only the citizens or nationals of a certain country have rights, and that moral obligation or duties of the country is only for its citizen. Meaning, kung ikaw ay isang Filipino, no, wala tayong pakialam sa ibang mga lahi dito sa Pilipinas if they are not citizens. Okay? Di natin sila papakialaman. Wala tayong pakialam whether they are doing good or not in the country. Ang nais lang natin ay para lang sa ating mga sariling kapakanan bilang Filipino. So that is what you call extreme patriotism. And of course, ang sinasabi dyan, sa ethical, ang moral standard ng extreme patriotism is our country, right or wrong. Kahit mali. Basta bansa natin to, magiging tama yan. So that's the idea of extreme patriotism. So minsan bumabagsak din to na isang destructive or negative na patriotism. Okay, so now we have the negative or destructive types of patriotism or nationalism, because sometimes patriotism is similar to the types of patriotism is similar to nationalism. No? When we apply that to the government, it will become patriotism. If we apply that to the people, it will become nationalism. Okay, so while constructive patriotism pictures patriotism as a way of showing one's love and support for his own country, there are also acts considered as manifestation of one's love to his or her country, but in a way may be destructive or seen as a negative practice of nationalism or patriotism. So we have the jingoism, the chauvinism, and the pseudo-patriotism. The jingoism, it is an attitude of belligerent. When you say belligerent, yung kahit gera, gusto makipag-away. Diba? So for example, in the country, may mga belligerent people dito, mga aktivista, mga radikal, no? Nanggugulo sila sa kalsada, naninira sila. So that is a belligerent nationalism. That is a belligerent attitude na tinatawag natin. No? Okay? And a blind adherence to the rightness of virtues of one's own nation, society, or group simply because it is its own. Meaning, tulad ng isang blind patriotism, ang jingoism, ganoon. No? Na kahit mali, no? Kahit mag-away-away, kahit may gera, no? Yan, kahit magkaroon ng civil war, importante ay tawag natin may paglaban mo yung karapatan mo or may paglaban yung karapatan ng bansa mo. No? So that is called jingoism. Meron kang attitude ng belligerence or meaning may attitude na kahit mag-cause ka ng harm sa iba, okay, as long as you can fight your own right or your own principle. So chauvinism, on the other hand, according to Britannica, chauvinism is an excessive and unreasonable patriotism that is similar to jingoism. Excessive and unreasonable, diba? Para din siyang jingoism. So chauvinism came from Nicholas Chauvin's name. He was a French soldier who, satisfied with the reward of military honors and a small pension, retained a simple-minded devotion to Napoleon. Chauvin came to typify the cult of the glorification of all things military that was popular after 1815 among the veterans of Napoleon's armies. Okay? Today, chauvinism pertains to any kind of ultra-nationalism and was used generally to connote an undue partiality or attachment to a group or place to which one belongs. Say, for example, no? Ikaw ay military, di ba? So, kapag discriminatory ka sa mga civilian, so you are chauvinistic, di ba? Masyadong attached sa pagka-military mo, nag-retire ka na nga, military-minded ka pa rin, ayaw mo pa rin makipag-mingle sa civilian community. Pag ikaw ay nasa uniform services ng government, iba yung tingin mo sa tawag natin sa mga non-uniform people in the country, you are chauvinist, no? Kasi yung loyalty mo is partially. Ibig sabihin, ikaw lang yung tama. Ang isip mo lang, pananaw mo, ikaw lang yung tama. Yung iba, hindi tama. Diba? Ganun ang idea nun. Okay? So, what else? Kapag ikaw ay ganito ang religion mo, okay? So, yung ibang religion, wala lahat yan. Ako lang ang tama. Yung isip lang namin ang tama. Kayo wala. So, mga chauvinistic, no? Na pag-isip, very partial ka or very attached ka sa a certain group or sa isang organization where you belong. Okay, so what about pseudo-patriotism? The word pseudo, false. It's a false patriotism. This type of patriotism is defined as the blind attachment to certain national cultural values uncritically conformity with the prevailing group ways, and rejection of other nations as outgroup. So blind attachment to certain national cultural values. Say for example, communism, di ba, in the country. So unfortunately, maraming blind nationalist tungkol sa communism kasi gusto nila Filipino, but eventually medyo mali, no? Uh, yung kanilang yung kanilang pananaw kasi gusto nila pare-parihas lahat-lahat, no, in communism, no? And of course, they use patriotism as a tool to silence all criticisms by anyone who does not support what majority political party thinks. So pag di ka sumali sa isip natin, di ka sumali sa aming pananaw, we have to eradicate you. And they hate free speech unless it applies to them. So pag mayroong kumukontra sa kanilang pananaw, ayaw nila. Pero pag yung kumukontra ay pabor sa kanila or yung nagsisigaw sa kalsada pabor sa kanila, they love that, no? So that's the idea of pseudo-patriotics, okay? So for example, sa Amerika, no? They want immigrants to be out. Okay? So no more knowledge ang titira sa kanila. So they reject all other nations in their country. Okay? So yun ang medyo false patriotism. Okay? Kasi kahit mali, pinaglalaban nila. At lahat ng mga kumukontra ay kailangan ma-eradicate. And of course, one other negative patriotism is what you call the ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism is yung racist, na it embodies the assumption that thinking well of one's own group entails looking down on the member of other groups. Okay? So mayroon kasing negative connotation ng nationalism. Yung negative connotation ng nationalism, ang mahalaga lang yung sarili mong nation lang. Okay? So yung mga racial discrimination is an example also of ethnocentrism. Mayroong mga bansa, particularly yung mga mapuputi na tao, di ba? They look at as colored people na mas mababa sa kanila. Okay? Both of these terms involve positive feelings towards own country and the negative feelings about other countries. So, tayo lang ang tama. Ethnocentric patriot are those people fighting for the supremacy of the race. So, just like what happened during World War II, when Germany waged war against other countries believing that they are the superior race. Same is true with the Japanese in World War II. So those are the example of ethnocentric. Okay? So say for example, America, the white people believe that they are more superior than the colored people, then that's an example of ethnocentric patriotism. Okay? So finally, what about the Bible? What does it say about nationalism and patriotism? Of course, in the Bible, it talks about citizenship. But the citizenship is spiritual citizenship. However, it also talks about being patriot, no? By obeying the country. In Matthew 22 verse 21b, therefore render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's and to God the things that are God. In other words, sinasabi pa rin ng Bible na kailangan nating ipaglaban at suportahan ang gobyerno. Okay? Although our citizenship is in heaven and we await the Savior. Okay? So that is the idea ng nationalism sa Bible. Kailangan kung ano yung mga ginagawa ng mga Kristiyano, mga accepted culture nila, yung gawin mo. So tinuturo rin niya sa nationalism insofar as we call it the Christians are concerned. They practice the culture. Okay, they practice the right manner. So that's basically nationalism also. And again, speaking of patriotism in the Bible, particularly Paul, exhorts that first of all, then I urge that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all who are in high positions, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life. So that is nationalism because the Bible says that you have to pray for all the people. It's patriotism because you should pray for the authorities because the authorities, they represent the country. Okay? And so that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good and it is pleasing in the sight of our Savior, Jesus Christ. So, yun ang idea nun. Na kahit sa Bible, tinuturo yun, kailangan sumunod ka, no? In Romans chapter 13, I read this morning, na sinasabi doon, kailangan marunong sumunod sa bansa. Meron kang magbayad ng taxes mo. Kailangan respetuhin mo ang authority. Okay? Kasi ang authority ay ina-ordain ng Lord or tinadhana ng Lord. So, kailangan nating sumunod yan. So, again, hindi lamang sa secular word na pinag-usapan ng patriotism, even sa Bible ay tinuturo rin ang nationalism and patriotism. Okay, so with that, thank you for listening. May the Lord bless us all.